thought that trucking was going to be easy, right? Well, guess again. From trucking school, through orientation, on into training, and then on into your first solo or team gig, none of it's what you thought it would be. Want to know what it's really like? Well, stick around and let's talk about it. Welcome back to another exciting episode with Trainer Alan, your OTR truck driver instructor. All right, guys, so today we're going to discuss some of the hurdles you'll have to overcome during your first year and some ways of overcoming them maybe. I've talked about several of these in previous videos, but today I want to take the time to actually go into some detail about expectations versus reality. Okay, so let's jump right in. Expectation number one, school will be so easy. I mean, how hard can it be to drive a truck, right? Yeah, well, you're going to have new terms to remember. There's new patterns to grasp, new driving skills. You know, you thought you knew what driving was about because you've driven a car for at least 5 years. Well, here's the reality. If you pay attention, the class and yard training can be fairly easy, but paying attention is key, all right? Ask questions. If something is said that you don't understand, ask questions. There will be a lot of terms flying around that you don't know, you know. There will be things going on that you just don't understand. Don't think, oh, well, I don't want to look like the idiot and ask this question because probably everybody else knows what this means. No, a lot of people probably don't know what the term you just heard means. And so by you asking the question, a lot of people are getting that question answered, and it gives you all, as a group, a better chance of succeeding. But take notes. Keep a little notepad with you. And through the day, you know, as you hear new terms, as you hear something that you're like, oh, I need to remember that, jot it down. And then at night, before bed, just go over those notes for the day. That will help you. You'll be gaining so much knowledge, and you'll be tested on every bit of it. Driving a car versus driving a truck is totally different. There's more to pay attention to. There's more that you're responsible for. So expect your blood pressure to be up and adjust your attitude accordingly. Be ready and willing to learn because there's a lot of learning that you're going to have to do. Now, to those of you who have been driving for a while and, you know, you're watching this just for whatever reason you want to watch it, you may be thinking to yourself, well, it's just truck driving school, whatever, you know, it's not that important. They don't really learn anything there. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but the truth is that most new drivers do learn quite a bit in driving school, whether you remember that point in your life or not. So, chillax. This isn't for you. All right, expectation number two. You'll be hired before you leave the school. You know, isn't that what the school told you? You know, you're going to come in and we'll have a job waiting for you as soon as you graduate, blah, 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 blah. Here's the reality. It used to be that way. It used to be that, you know, through the application process and everything, a company could hire you before you got to their location. Now, if you are going to a school that is directly connected to a company and they have a company person right there on site or whatever, you may be hired as soon as you're out of school. And, you know, if you're going to Prime Trucking School or someplace like that, you know, there are trucking schools out there that are tied directly to a trucking company. And so, yes, if you made it through their process to get into their school, then yes, as soon as you are done with your schooling, you'll have a very basic orientation before going out on the road. So this probably isn't for you. This is mainly for those who are going to a school outside of a company school, if that makes sense, which it may not make sense to you right now, but there is a difference. And if you don't know the difference, when you talk to your school or company, just ask them, is this a company school or is this an affiliate school? All right. Now, the school, while at the school, you're probably going to get a chance to meet with a recruiter or recruiters from different companies. They're going to run your basic information and have you pre-approved for a job when you successfully finish school and have your CDL in hand. But pre-approval in this way is very much like those credit card offers you get in the mail, those pre-approved credit card offers, and now you have to fill out the application. Yeah, it's really nothing. Do not just assume because you've been pre-approved that you actually have a job right out of school. Because the real hiring process doesn't begin until you're actually in company orientation. So, expectation number 3. Orientation will be 2 or 3 days, and then I'll hit the road as a professional driver. No. It'd be nice, but again, the hiring process has just begun. You aren't officially hired until you're done with orientation. Meanwhile, you have another boatload of information that they're going to pour into you. You're going to go over a lot of what you were just taught at school, as well as company expectations and policies. So pay attention, and again, take notes. Taking notes every day and going over them every evening before bed will help you so much in this process. Nonetheless, the process can be nerve-wracking if you aren't prepared. Orientation should be 2 to 3 days, but depending on the company, it can last up to a week or more if you don't have your ducks in a row. Okay, so what are your ducks to have in a row? Well, here's your ducks. First of all, you need to have a valid commercial driver's license in hand. Excuse me. Sometimes schools send you off to your new place with a temporary CDL, okay? Now, keep in mind that temporary CDL generally expires in 30 days, and by the end of that 30 days, you're expected to have your hard copy in hand. Now, to get that, hopefully the school had the CDL mailed to your terminal. And so sometime within that first couple of weeks, you'll be able to get back through the terminal and actually pick up your hard copy CDL. Sometimes they send it to your house, which means now you've got to maybe hopefully get a load that goes by your house pretty soon, or you have to have someone at your house that can send it now to one of your terminal locations that you're going to be able to get to fairly quickly. So keep track of that, keep on top of that, because schools are notorious for not keeping track of that thing. Make sure you have your previous 10-year work history with contact names and numbers and emails if possible, if you've done anything DOT related. If you haven't done anything DOT related, then 3 years job history should suffice. Make sure you have the names and addresses of any high schools or colleges graduated from. Have your graduation certificate from high school or GED college, your graduation certificate from your trucking school, or names and numbers of people who can provide that information from those schools. You'll want to have your official birth certificate and Social Security card, not photocopies, guys. Photocopies will not get it. They need originals. You'll need medical releases for any surgeries and medical or mental health diagnoses, along with doctor's contact information. I don't know how many times I've seen this very thing hold people up. You know, I was in, so-and-so was in the hospital a year ago for such and such, and, technically it could affect their driving if it's still an issue, right? Well, it hasn't been an issue, and it hasn't been an issue in your life for at least 6 months, but you got to have proof of that. Otherwise, going through the company's process could be delayed. So make sure you have that with you. You want a list of all medications taken in the last year and what they were for, including any supplements you are currently taking. That's important. And FYI, you guys, CBD oil or any other kind of hemp product are not legal for you to use per DOT FMCSA. And no matter what the person selling it to you said, it can make you fail a drug screen. Okay? So just know, okay? Make sure you can pass a drug screen. This is big. So many people go to orientation to get hired, go through this hiring process, knowing full well before they even get there that they can't pass a drug screen. And what do? Oh, they bring a little pee bag with them, right? Whether it's fake urine or somebody else's urine, and they strap it to their leg or whatever, okay? Listen, guys, more and more places are having you strip down to your briefs, okay? You're standing directly in front of them when you're doing the urinalysis. Chances of you making it through that are not great. Now, here's the thing about this, okay? If you fail this drug screen, it does go on your official DOT record, okay? And so it will affect anything from here on out in your trucking career, okay? So if you know that you cannot pass a drug test with your own urine at the time, given at the time of the drug test, don't go, all right? Postpone it for 30 days, okay? Say, you know what? Something's come up. I've got to go home. Give me a month. I'll be back, okay? And in that month, stay away from anything that can make you fail a drug screen. It's that simple, okay? Stay away from it. 30 days. You can do it. All right. Biggest things to remember during orientation are listen and take those notes, okay? And I'm going to say this a lot. Take notes, all right? Keep a notebook handy and take notes. And then go over those notes at night. You don't have to write everything down that you hear, all right? That's not what note-taking is. Note-taking is writing down things that you find useful and things that you might find as new information, okay? Write those things down in the evening before bed. Just go over those notes. It's real simple. Second thing to remember during orientation, don't get distracted by the complainers, okay? There's a lot of hurdles in all of this, okay? The last thing you need to worry about is hearsay from either fellow trainees or even other truck drivers running around that are spouting off garbage, okay, because they're mad about this or they're mad about that. Let all that go. Don't focus on that, okay, because you're going to hear a lot of it. And if you listen to every little piece of it, by the end of your first 2 days of orientation, you're going to think the sky is falling, and it's not, all right? So just bear with it. Don't get distracted by those complainers. All right, expectation number 4. Training will be easy and short. Reality. Depending on the company, your training can last anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks, possibly more. And you may not get any home time until it's finished. So be patient. But all of that said, training will be as easy as you make it, okay? You can make your training easier by doing things like listening to your trainer, communicating properly with your trainer, do the assignments given to you by the training department, including the paper logbooks, okay? If your training department requires that you keep a running paper logbook aside from also doing the electronic logbook, do it, okay? Now, some companies don't require that you do it the entire time. Some companies require that you just do it a week, or some companies will just test you past that, okay? But if they require that you do it, do it. Keep up with it, okay? That is very important. Ask questions that you don't understand. If you have a question you don't understand, don't be fearful to ask the question, but trust your trainer if they say something to you like, explaining this right now won't make sense to you. Write that question down and ask me again if you still don't know the answer in a week from now. Okay? I personally asked my trainees to write down all of their questions that they had in the first week. Okay? Don't ask questions. Now, if it was something vital, I wanted them to ask me questions, okay? But for the most part, most of your questions that you have anytime in that first week will be answered by the end of that first week. there are some things that can't be explained until you know other parts of a process. Okay? And I can't think of a better way to say that other than you can't understand a point 20 in a process that you don't even know what point 2 and 3 are yet. Okay? And you're going to be seeing your trainer doing a lot of things in that first week that you really don't have any idea about. Now, this is where some people get confused about what truck driving school is about, okay? Because a lot of older truck drivers believe that when you come out of trucking school, you should know all there is to know about trucking, right? You went to trucking school. Well, no. Trucking school is about learning to drive the truck. That's the primary thing. Yes, hopefully they're going over logbooks with you, the basics, and some other things. But primarily, the only purpose for truck driving school is to attain your CDL. All of the other information has to come from training after the truck driving school. Now, you as a new trainee, you need to understand this as well. Okay, you were not given all the tools that you need to be a successful driver at your truck driving school. Okay, maybe that's not what you want to hear, but that's the truth. Okay, you have a lot to learn yet, a whole lot to learn, and the next 2 to 4 weeks, and you being able to pay attention and learn as much as possible is going to be critical in your career. All right. So, all right. So most of your questions are going to be answered inside that first week by the end of that first week. That said, make sure that you and your trainer are setting aside some time each day to sit down and really go over the events of the day, because that's going to help you understand a lot more about those questions that you're writing down. If after a week with your trainer you feel that they are not the person you need, talk to your trainer about why you feel that they're not right for you, and see if maybe they can help you through it. If you cannot learn from the person you're with, for whatever the reason may be, get in contact with your training department and let them know you need a new trainer, because ultimately, if you can't learn from that person, then you're wasting everyone's time and money. Okay, you need to be with someone that you can actually learn from. Now, if it's a personal attitude problem of yours, you need to work through that. Okay, not everybody's like you. Not everybody's going to do everything like you do. You're in a professional setting. It's time to buckle down and just get through it. Okay, but no matter what, be a professional, even if your trainer isn't. And trust me, there are a lot of trainers out here who are anything but professional in their approach to training. So be professional, even if your trainer isn't. And be patient. I think I say that in every video I do. Be patient. Be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient. Listen, if you've never had patience in your life, then going into trucking is going to be a big eye-opener for you, okay? Because patience is essential to being a professional driver. It just is. So anyways, be patient in training. Hurdles to expect while in training. First of all, your trainer will probably have some home time scheduled during your training. During his home time, you are probably going to be in a motel. Whether that's 2 or 3 nights, however long that trainer is going to be home for, you will probably be in a hotel. Now, some trainers, and it depends on whether your company allows it or not, but some trainers will bring you home with them if you want to. And if you've built a really good relationship with them and you feel friendly with them and you feel comfortable going to their home, as long as it's not against company policy, have at it. Some companies don't really have policies about it, but they recommend that you don't take trainees home. Because, listen, if we take a trainee home and, something happens to that driver's family because of that trainee going home, ultimately that trainer's family can somehow go back and hold the company responsible for it, and, through lawsuits or whatever. And so companies generally discourage the taking home of trainees on home time. But really, that's just something that you and your trainer have to decide and be comfortable with. So, also, you will probably experience at least one breakdown while you're in training. Learn everything that you can from it. Okay? And when I say learn from it, I don't just mean procedures. I also mean actually, if physically possible, watch the repairs because you're going to learn from it. Okay? And some repairs, some breakdowns can be fixed like that by you in the future on your truck, which is going to save you time, which is in turn going to make you more money, because if you're not broke down somewhere for a day or two waiting for whatever, okay, you can be rolling and out there making money. So pay attention to that. Learn from it. Going back to the CDL, okay, again, you probably came with a temp, okay. Getting that official CDL, the hard copy, within your first 30 days generally is going to be very important. Keep on top of it, okay, and that's your responsibility. Keep on top of it, because if 30 days is up and the copy that you have with you, that temporary paper copy, if it's done, and that's the only one you got with you on the road, you're not driving anymore, okay? You're done until you can get that. Okay, so their training stopped right there. Okay, so keep on top of that. Also, something else that may happen in the process of your training is that you will need to get your CDL transferred to your home state if you went to school in another state. Say you live in Florida. I actually had a trainee with this situation. He lived in Florida. He went to truck driving school in Missouri. And, at the end of the day, you've got so many days to get your license transferred to your own state. And if it's not done, well, company might throw a fit. So keep on top of that. The entire CDL thing, keep on top of that. It's very important. Sending and receiving money. Your trainer should be able to help you out with this kind of thing. I found Walmart MoneyGram app, which you can have on your phone, is very helpful. Now, it's cheaper to go into Walmart. Not a whole bunch cheaper, but it is cheaper to go into Walmart and do the Walmart to Walmart. But you don't always have that opportunity to get into a Walmart. Usually at least once a week you should be able to, and depending on your trainer, that may be a regular stop. I know it was for me. I like to get to Walmart at least once a week, restock what I need in the truck, and make sure if I needed to send or receive money through that method, I was able to do that. But again, the Walmart MoneyGram app directly on your phone is great and invaluable, really. Also, PayPal and Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger Pay works great for transferring money home or receiving money from home on your personal card if you have another card other than your pay card, which, I'll get into that in another video about how you're paid by through a company, fueling and all that. I'll make another video about that soon. Also, the other option for transferring money is to get a second pay card, okay? And that is to have your pay put on one card and you have another companion card or something like that. Different places call it different things, but have the second card that you can send home for your significant other or whatever, to be able to use that to draw money or whatever they need for household needs. But yeah, I will do another complete video about all of that. But know that that's going to be a hurdle, because I'm sure there's going to be times inside your training period that you're going to be needing to get money to home or get money from home, one or the other. Being away from home for long periods of time can be mentally exhausting, you guys, and this is a huge hurdle. It's very, very frustrating to be home and away from people that you know and love for long periods of time. So keep that in mind, and don't take out your frustrations on other people. Don't take them out on your trainer. Don't take them out on dispatch. Okay. there's just so much to be said about that. Because really, I mean, feel free to discuss your frustrations with your trainer, okay? And hopefully your trainer is experienced enough that they can give you positive feedback, okay? There may be times that you find yourself ready to cry for no apparent reason, or actually crying, not ready, but actually crying. Well, the reason is because the mental stress. It's tough, but this is normal. Don't be ashamed, and don't allow some super trucker to tell you that, oh, you won't make it as a truck driver if you can't make it through this. Baloney. Okay? Most of your life as a truck driver, you're going to be gone 2 to 3 weeks at a time as an OTR driver. Okay? Now, if you're going regional or whatever, obviously that's going to be different. But 2 to 3 weeks out at a time is common. And generally, after about 2 weeks, it starts to get tough. Okay? So yeah, if you start to feel yourself get depressed, whatever, don't be afraid to admit that. Don't be afraid to ask somebody to help you work through it. And chances are, your trainer and any other driver you come in contact with has going to have experienced this. Okay? So don't think this is just something odd that you're going through. No. Most drivers go through it. 20 years of experience. If I'm gone more than 2 or 3 weeks, I start to get depressed. I start to get cryy. You know, I can be driving down the road and all of a sudden I'm crying. Why am I crying? You know, it's time to go home. You know, I need to go home. I need to see the people that I love and care about. Okay? So, there's that. But yeah, the mental strain that you're going through right now, having been through truck driving school and then orientation and now training without any home time, without any time with the people that you love, it's tough. It is very tough. Expect it to be tough. Okay? Build something into your day that you can fall back on to just relax. Okay? Even if it's just, saying, well, every day when we are done for the day, I'm going to take the time to call someone at home and, or FaceTime someone at home for half hour or so and just kind of, talk and get that feeling of being home. Okay, whatever it takes for you, build it into your day and do it. It's going to be more helpful than you could ever imagine. And hopefully you're with a trainer, like I said, hopefully you're with a trainer that understands it, because it is tough, but you can do it. Have faith in yourself, and hopefully your trainer will have patience and understanding and help you walk through this specific thing, because this is probably one of the tougher things. All right, expectation number 5. As soon as I'm out of training and in my own truck, things will be easier and I'll know everything I need to know to be successful. Here's the reality. You've only scratched the surface of the knowledge you'll need to be successful. All right? Every day is a new day to learn more. The first year is your test. All right? Once you pass that first year, things do get easier. But you'll still have a long way to go even after that first year. But celebrate your accomplishments, especially like your 1, 3, 5-year marks. After the 5-year mark, you're well on your way to knowing most of what you need to know for a successful career in driving. After 20 plus years out here, I still often feel woefully short on knowledge. Okay? And that's just the truth. Anybody that's been out here for 2 or 3 years or even 5 or 10 years, and they say, oh, I know everything there is to know. They're wrong. The trucking industry is always evolving, okay? So you will never, ever, ever, ever know everything there is to know. But after 5 to 10 years, you've got a pretty good grasp on what to expect as far as changes go and what needs to be done in most cases. All right, so final thoughts. First of all, position yourself to be at the top of your game and at the front of the line. Okay. Do that by doing things like being professional. Do that by continuing your education. Never stop learning, guys. There is magazine after magazine after magazine in every truck stop you go to, with industry news. Okay, there are so many online resources for truck drivers, whether it be FMCSA website or other websites. There's so much information for you to gain. Continue to study. Read your trucker's Bible, the little green striped regulation book. Read that. Know it. Especially the parts that they probably had you bookmark one way or another while you were in trucking school. Yeah, continue to go over those. You want to stay ahead of the rest of the pack. You want to be the driver that the companies are looking for, okay? And the best way to do that is be professional, keep your attitude in check, and make sure you're on top of your game with your knowledge base. So, yeah, I think that about covers it for today's episode. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, drop them down below. Please like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be back soon with another video. And for now, while you're out there on the road, keep that shiny side up, keep the greasy side down, and we'll catch you on the flip flop.